whatever incidents had happened to make a good story. Yeah, wolves, bears, dogs, birds. News was showing some shit I'd never seen before, too, saying they were mutated animals, that it was a virus, trying to keep everyone indoors. Rick was a sensible man. His beliefs about scratch cards might not be the most rational, but when it came to animals and everyday practicalities, he was no fool. "What do you think about it?" I asked him. "Anything in the stories?" "I've not seen anything yet, and it's hard for me to believe something like that if I didn't see it with my own eyes. But what I can see with my own eyes is that the streets are empty and no one is around." I was slipping the money under the glass when the bell chimed again. It rattled every time someone opened the door. My boss had put it on to make sure we never kept a customer waiting. Although the door had opened, I didn't see anyone come in. The shelves created a blind spot, despite a mirror, where I could only see people from the waist up. Parents would sometimes come in with their rowdy children, and I could never keep track of the small ones as they ran in search of some sort of sugary candy. "My advice to you, Mike," Rick leaned in close while grabbing his money, "call it an early night tonight. Not worth the risk, you know." "True. In any case, I'll be done early tonight with all this free time. Have a good one." Rick turned away towards the door, and something pierced his chest. His body froze in shock as his hand grasped and scraped at a wooden pole, piercing his abdomen. His head moved in slow motion as he tilted it lower to glance at a strange figure before him. A midget-like person with a disgusting green skin covered all over with wrinkles, warts, and blisters stood in front of him. What the fuck is this?" Rick asked in horror. He tried to turn his head to look at me, but the wooden pole dug deep into his gut and was pulled out with a vicious tear. Blood spurted from his chest as his body collapsed with a thump to the floor. The weapon was a wooden spear, about 4 or 5 feet long, now caked in a thick layer of blood. The creature holding it, however, was nothing of this world. This is a goblin? A small orc? My mind raced as fear overtook me. This was something out of fantasy. The figure stared at me through the glass barrier, and a menacing cackle came from deep within its throat, a grating sound that brought a chill to the nape of my neck. My hands were shaking at my side as I tried to make sense of the situation. Was this even reality? Did I actually wake up this morning? That thought held me still until the blood-caked spear was stabbed through the small gap between the counter and the glass barrier. I dived backwards and off to the side to avoid being impaled. The spear flailed and shook, but could not bend nor reach me. I scurried across the floor to the only doorway into the cubicle and double-checked it was locked. The cackling didn't stop, and the spear continued to flail around seeking for me. Eventually, the weapon was pulled out and the cackling stopped. The silence gave me a moment to think rationally. I pulled my phone out and dialed 911. It rang and rang, and then eventually it ended with a dial tone. I called again, and then again. Then I tried a few friends and family members. I couldn't get through to anyone. I was on my own. There was dead silence in the store besides the sound of my heavy breathing. Was the murderous creature waiting for me to think it had left? The front doorbell had not rang. It was definitely still in the store with me. I scanned the area around me for a weapon, but there was nothing. On several occasions, my boss had urged me to get a permit for a gun so that in the worst case I could defend myself. I was kicking myself right now for not following his advice. The thought of having to shoot another person over money had never sat well.